Political parties have been launching their election manifestos ahead of the 29 May general elections. Yesterday, three parties, UDM, PAC and Freedom Front Plus, launched their manifestos. The IFP and Al Jama-ah are meanwhile preparing to launch theirs. We now preview Al Jama-ah's 2024 election manifesto launch with the party leader Ganief Hendricks. Mr. Hendricks, appreciate your time this afternoon. Let's start off with the key priorities outlined in Al Jama-ah's manifesto for the 2024 election, and how does the party intend to address them if elected into government?
As you know, most political parties, jobs is at the core of the election manifesto. The DA promised 2 million jobs, the ANC 2.5 million. So political parties have to address the issue of unemployment in South Africa. So yes, Al Jama-ah is also at the core of its manifesto. It is to create jobs, but we're different to all the other political parties. We want to create jobs that are decent jobs in line with the vision of the International Labour Organization, which President Mandela signed and got an award at Winnie Mandela a year later. So decent work is celebrated every month, and Al Jama-ah has participated in this campaign, which is international. So we're the only political party that knows what decent work is. And in a nutshell, decent work is you get all the social benefits, pension, medical aid, bursaries, housing. But added to that is promotional opportunities, development, creating new revenue streams. But Al Jama-ah is going another further step, which makes it again different to all political parties. Besides the decent work, we want South Africa to be some of the European countries. So that is not a pipe dream, because full employment, if a country adopts that particular position, which Al Jama-ah will do when it has the balance of power in Parliament, like it has, it has a balance of power in Joburg, in Durban, in Harding. We will push for full employment as part of the fiscal policy of South Africa, and that's how to solve the employment problem and jobs which are not, which have got slave wages and which provides no opportunities. So in addition to jobs being at the heart core of our manifesto, Al Jama-ah has come up with a charter of rights. We feel that people must have a right to water, not access. The Constitution says access, but then you got to walk 5 kilometers to water, and when you get to the river, stones and the dogs to compete for the river during the river flow. So water is key, and we feel it should be a right. So if citizens die of thirst or nearly die of thirst, the country has a constitutional obligation to make sure that they get clean drinkable water. The other right in our rights charter is a right to universal care. So we have already thrown our weight behind a net clinic, used 10 primary health care centre largely in the Western Cape, in African coloured Indian areas, in line with the NHI. So Al Jama-ah believes the NHI can work. It is time that citizens must get health care. It mustn't be because you have money that you die or you don't die. At the moment, you have money, you live. If you don't have money, you die, and they switch off all the instruments.
Mr. Hendricks, if you'll allow me to come in, please. Your manifesto speaks to the eradication of poverty as a priority. What specific measures does Al Jama-ah propose to alleviate poverty, particularly among marginalized communities? Okay, we see. State of the Nation address. He said everyone in South Africa will have a warm plate of food. We embrace that concept, you know, that people must have a warm plate of food every day. But it is giving people jobs and making it compulsory for the private sector to create the jobs. It's not government's duty to create jobs. So we feel that once there are jobs in place, there are social nets at the moment
or nearly 18 million people. That will have to be phased out as more and more people get jobs. So that will continue. Only Al Jama-ah will double the grants. We can't, let people get small grants. That's not enough to put a warm plate of food on the table every day. So we work around at least one warm plate of food every day, and the social grants must be. For us is full employment. So everyone in South Africa who is able to work must get the work. Like they say in Afrikaans, die wat jy gekry het, jy moet kry. So they must get the job. And so I'm not talking about promises. I got an award as a pioneer of the internet in 2002. After that, we created millions of jobs in South Africa, created new revenue streams. So myself and other members of the party, we know the drill. And we feel that we are the best place of all political parties to create jobs. But then your viewers must vote for Al Jama-ah.
Now, you're one of the few parties that's talked about gender-based violence and certainly and crime are identified as major challenges. Now, how does Al Jama-ah plan to address these issues, particularly in terms of prevention, victim support and law enforcement?
Look, we being a small party, we focused on one element, and that is that men must pay their maintenance. So as a result of men, 70% of men not paying maintenance for their kids, you find that this led to domestic disputes, it led to domestic violence. So we have introduced legislation which is in an advanced stage that women will get assistance to go to maintenance courts in the form of taxi fare and accommodation. Because when you go to maintenance courts, it's a 3-day slap and they're going to sleep on the streets and take 3 taxis. So at the moment, the law states that men can get taxi fare because they are the respondents. And the government and parliament has agreed that that is discrimination against women. We see it as one of the ways to combat gender-based violence. I know that there are 3 new laws that have been passed, but these laws, are not being used. The courts are not all over the place, especially in the rural areas.
So let's talk about Gauteng and Johannesburg in particular, where you've held the mayor's seat, if you will. Just how much of this has been a good experience for the party, and what are the key learnings as you go into this election?
Look, we run the city of Joburg. We've got a clean audit. We have no findings in many of our entities just after 1 year running the city of Joburg. So Al Jama-ah has reimagined politics. Chief Justice Mugang has called it the Al Jama-ah effect. So it is not a coincidence. It's a well-planned reimagining politics, where a political party that has gained the trust of non-political parties, like in the city of Joburg, in other areas as well. We have the balance of power in Durban municipality, in Harding municipality. We had it in Escourt municipality. So a party like Al Jama-ah, once you get the trust of other parties, then we are invited. We don't ask. We don't lobby. We are invited and asked to lead like we did in Joburg, and to get a clean audit without findings, better than the city of Cape Town, is a major achievement which is not being recognized by the media. And I hope that your media will start looking into that audit, which we got, because now the city has been messed up by 3 political parties over 5 years. It is in a state of disrepair. We now have a first-class mayor. We've got a first-class audit, and we want to turn it into a first-class city. So our learnings is that you've got to be a party that other political parties can trust, because South Africa is moving towards coalitions. And we have proven in the city of Joburg, in Durban, in Escourt, in Harding, that when we are asked to lead, if it's not the mayoral seat, the deputy mayoral seat, or the chief whip, or leading a department like economic affairs, we are a party that can be trusted, that is reliable. We have the expertise. We've got advocates, professionals, women, people with disabilities, all contributing to trying to build a better society. But the problem is that we come from a small constituency, the Muslim community. We are now a platform for all communities. So half of our councillors are outside our faith. Half of our members are outside our faith. Those who are paid up members are outside our faith. So we are making slow progress to be much more diverse, to get a wider constituency. We operate in 80 villages throughout South Africa. No other political party has the branches that we have in 80 villages. In Limpopo, we've got 30. In KZN, we've got quite a number. In the Eastern Cape, we've got not quite a number, and we've got farming projects going. We've got a fishing vessel through government for a fishing village in a rural area. We've got a peanut butter manufacturing is buried, and these are grassroots based. It's not only the ANC that has a footprint in the rural areas. We have, and our party is a political party that promotes the foundational principles of the liberation movement. So we will support any political party. At the moment, it's the ANC, but it could be the PAC, it could be the MK party, it could be the EFF, who subscribes and was part of the foundational principle of the liberation movement. So that is our cutoff point. Any political party that doesn't embrace the foundational principles of the liberation movement of Oliver Tambo and those before him, Chief Albert Luthuli, we won't associate with such parties. We'll work with them, but we prefer to work party with like-minded values, like the foundational values of the liberation movement. So we're the only political party pushing those foundational values. Not even the ANC is pushing it. They're supposed to be in the forefront. They heard what the Zondo Commission said about them. They are corrupt. They engage in looting. And that is not part of the foundational principles of the liberation movement when we all fought together in the trenches for our liberation.